heart has 4 chambers to it. The upper 2 chambers are called the atria. The lower chambers are the ventricles. Right? So we have a right atria, right ventricle, left ventricle. Coming off of the heart are several blood vessels. We have the superior vena cava here, which leads into the right atria. We have from underneath an inferior vena cava, which also leads to the right atria. We have next door to the superior vena cava, we have the aorta, which has 3 parts. We have the the ascending aorta, the aortic arch, and then finally the descending aorta. Right? On the aortic arch, we have 3 blood vessels that come off. The first one is the brachiocephalic trunk. The second one is the left common carotid artery, and the third one is the left subclavian artery. Okay. Right next door to the aorta is the pulmonary trunk. The pulmonary trunk provides 2 arteries. One is the left pulmonary artery, which will travel to the left lung, and then we have the right pulmonary artery, which will travel to the right lung. Right? Blood traveling back from the lungs to the heart will return through the left pulmonary veins that we see here and the right pulmonary veins to empty into the left atrium. Alright? Now, if we open up the heart to look at the chambers, we can see the right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium, left ventricle. The valve separating the right atrium from the right ventricle has 3 flaps on it, so it's called the tricuspid valve. The valve separating the left atrium from the left ventricle has 2 cusps, so it's called the bicuspid valve, or more commonly the mitral valve.
What about that one that was way up in
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, to separate the right ventricle from the pulmonary trunk, we have the pulmonary semilunar valve. And then to separate the left ventricle from the aorta, we have the aortic semilunar valve. Okay? From the posterior view, you can see the trachea sits right behind the heart. And from the trachea, we can see the primary bronchi branching off here and here. We can also see behind the trachea the esophagus, which would lead to the stomach. And I think that's pretty much everything on this.
Okay.
All right?